Shobha, who is a niece of Anasuya, is asking the question, you mentioned that Yashodaka was remaining in trance for 10, 12 hours a day or even more than that during the time after the Mahasamadhi of Swamiji. So what happens to her? What is Yashoda doing? Swamiji is in trance and her, that is fine. So Swamiji is talking to you, Swamiji is giving you guidance. Swamiji is telling you what to do, what not to do and all that. That is all fine. But what is happening to Yashoda? Okay? So I asked her to ask her own auntie, Anasuya, because Anasuya also does meditation for 3-4 hours. So what happens during that time? Anasuya also gets trance. So what happens during that time? So Anasuya's response is, we do not exist during that time. We cease to exist when we are in trance. So we don't know. I mean, our body is not in our control. Our mind does not exist. Our consciousness is not there. It's all Swamiji. Swamiji controls our physical body. Swamiji controls our mind. Swamiji does everything. We don't know. We don't even exist. So for that 3 hours or 4 hours duration that they are in trance or in meditation, sadhana, basically they lose their time. Okay, they don't know that they are alive or that they are doing something. Okay, just now she is telling me that she doesn't even experience the body pain. I mean, if we assume that if we sit for 3 hours, 4 hours at a stretch, our limbs would go numb, right? We'll feel a lot of pain in the back, in the legs and all that. But she says, no, we don't feel any of that. Once we go into deep meditation, we don't feel any of that. Okay, Shobha? So does that answer your question?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂಕಲ್, ಇನ್ನ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಅವರ್ಸ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅನ್ಕಾನ್ಶಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅವರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧನೆಯಿಂದ, ನಮ್ಗೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಾ? ಈಗ ಆಂಟಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ನೀವಾಗ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಅವರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಸಾಧನೆಯಿಂದ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ನಮ್ಗ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಅದೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ.
ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ, ನೋಡು. First of all, please don't take my example, because I hardly do 1 hour of meditation every day, that's all. I don't do more than that. And I know that most of you also do 1 hour of meditation. So that is simple, we understand how that goes, right? But then when you are asking me, do they actually make any progress? Let me try to take an example. You know, we are losing time, but then let us compare it with an engineering course, Amma. I have done my engineering course, right? I have done for 5 years. I have been to the college. Early in the morning I used to go to the college, come back home late in the evening, and again spend time at the home, studying my books, doing my exercises, solving my problems. Okay. Now if you ask me, today did you make any progress? Tomorrow, the next day, did you make any progress? The third day, did you make any progress? Of course, there is a little bit of progress that is happening day after day after day, hour after hour after hour. But it is only at the end of the 5 years that I get a certificate into my hand saying that I am an engineer, I can get a job now, I can earn money with that job, right? Like that, Amma. Every hour of meditation that we do, we are making progress. There is no certificate for that, but definitely we are making progress. See, again, let me take another example. How did Satyaraju become Shivabalayogi? Through meditation ultimately, right? He remained in Samadhi, but Samadhi is the ultimate state of meditation. And he remained in Samadhi. He remained in Samadhi for 12 years. 23 hours a day for 8 years, 12 hours a day for 4 years, and then he became Shivabalayogi. I mean, how did that happen? What actually happened to him? How did he change? Of course, his hands became like this, and he grew a lot of hair, but that's not what we are looking for, right? How did he become a yogi? How did Satyaraju become a yogi? It is the transformation that took 12 years for him to take place, right? So like that, there is transformation happening, Amma. And the transformation happens silently without any activity. Just like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, right? What does it do? What effort, what exercise makes it into a butterfly? Zero exercise. It doesn't do anything at all. It goes completely silent. And the next thing you find is a beautiful butterfly with wings comes out and flies away. The caterpillar could never fly. Right? But the butterfly flies. It has wings. What does the caterpillar eat? Leaves and leaves and leaves all the time. And what does the butterfly eat? It drinks. It doesn't eat. It drinks only honey. Okay? So this transformation has happened. See, we cannot accept that silence and total non-activity can cause change. But actually that is what causes real transformation. Not just change, but real transformation. How is a child born? A tiny speck becomes a full-grown child. And what is the speck doing during the time? Is it active? Is it studying? Is it running around? Is it moving its limbs and all that? Nothing, right? But it comes out with ears, nose, eyes, a mouth, hands, legs, everything. How is that happening? In total silence, absolute inactivity. Right? Can I say tapas is also absolute inactivity? If you look at it from the physical aspect, it is inactivity. Even if you look at it from the mental aspect, it is inactivity. Because the change is happening on the spiritual realm. Right? All the development that has happened in the spirit. That is why you don't see any change in the physical body. Even if you see, it's a little bit. Mind also, you can feel the change. Once, the way Satyaraju behaved, the way Satyaraju answered questions, the way Satyaraju talked, was very different from the way Shivabalayogi talked, Shivabalayogi behaved. That is the difference in the mind. But the real difference is not that. The real transformation happened in the spirit, in the soul. Okay? Because it's a spiritual transformation, we don't see much of a change in the physical body or the mind. Does that help? I'm not explaining this. I'm only trying to make you understand, if understand is the right word to be used there. I don't think so. Is experience the right word? Probably. When you experience trance, when you remain in trance for 4 hours, probably then you will be able to experience rather than understand what is trance. Right? Anusuya will not be able to help you understand that. Am I clear, ma?
ಅಂಕಲ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಅಂಕಲ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸಿಲಬಸ್ ಅಂತಿತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಅದು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಕಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ನೀನ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ. ಕ್ಯಾಟರ್ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ ಹೆಂಗ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ನೀನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ಯಾ? Did you really watch the caterpillar slowly trying into a butterfly?
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
How did it develop the wings? What made it develop the wings? Silence, right? Absolute silence and absolute inactivity in the cocoon developed the wings of the butterfly, right? That is nature, that is Prakriti.
ಅದೇ ಅಂಕಲ್, ಈಗ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸತ್ಯರಾಜ್ ಅವರು ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ವಿಭೂತಿ ಕೇಳಕ್, ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ರೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ತಪಸ್ಸಿನ ಅಥವಾ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ನ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಬಹುದಾ? ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ ಆ ಟೈಪ್ ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಸ್ತ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಆ ರೀತಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ ಅಮ್ಮ? See, in the same way, again, see, what you are saying is correct. that I told you that Swamiji had developed, Satyaraju, after the tapas, had developed the capacity to read anybody's mind. Just through meditation, he could find out what is happening, what you are thinking, right? To take an example that we understand, that is an example that we don't understand. How can you read somebody else's mind? How can you understand what exactly in that person's mind? We don't know how to read minds. But take the example of an engineer himself, right? Before he is an engineer, he cannot repair circuits. He doesn't understand how a circuit performs. But after he becomes an engineer, he has gained that knowledge. He has spent 5 years trying to understand how circuits work, how devices work, how software works, how code works. He can read and understand code. He can develop new code. But this came because of that effort that he has put in those 5 years. Right? Yes. But again, this is development of the mind. Right? But I am talking of development of the spirit. Now we don't even know what spirit is. That is the reason we are unable to understand what spiritual development is. Understand? We only see the end result. We don't see the progress that is happening on the spiritual aspect of the person, right? We cannot see, we cannot feel it. Only when he becomes a yogi, then we can feel the difference. We can experience a yogi, right? Okay.